Welcome back, YouTube. So one of the most common questions that I get now is, has the market bottomed out yet? Like, have we reached the peak of the opportunity and is now the best time for entries? And technically speaking, no one knows the answer to that for 100%. But I also look at the charts here to try and get confirmation on my macros and my additional thoughts that I have outside of the market to see if I can have some confirmation. And the truth of the matter is, the numbers that I gave, because I gave a few numbers like a few months ago for lows that I have for Dogecoin, lows that I have for Bitcoin, etc. And it looks like the charts are now coming into patterns and doing some confirmation things to kind of confirm that we are potentially setting up to see some of those lower levels so that we can ultimately capitalize off of these lows and have great entries. So I'm going to take a look here at Doge, and then we're going to take a look at Bitcoin. They're doing different patterns, but both of them are very bearish. So if we take a look here at Dogecoin, we'll see that there was a double top here formed pretty much from like December through like mid-January, right? So technically a double top is you're going to be looking at a point of like resistance going up, and then the next support level will have a moderate decline, but it's very close. And then that'll be followed by a break in the pretty much at the low from the beginning of the two peaks that you have in your double top here. So technically we have the initial, which was December 15th. We have the moderate decline. What is this? January 14th. So we're looking at a difference between, let's see, 21.9 and versus 21.4. So that checks itself off. And then we have a break here against the lower point. So that was obviously a bullish pattern here. And this set us on our bullish trend. And this is also can be looked at as pretty much the lower high pattern. And I charted this back in like January. I said that we're going to pretty much follow this wedge, and we weren't going to pretty much break it until like around like the 10th or so. So this is playing out. We're still roughly in this this pattern here, but as you can see, the 21-day moving average is coming down as well, because obviously you're going to need to at least test it or try and stay a little bit above it to even maintain it to go sideways. And of course, we are below that, so we're going to be bringing that down as well. And this looks like we are pretty much setting up to have a break here within the next few days. Another thing that this wedge is going to be indicative of when that break happens, but technically the patterns we have here, which is the confirmation of a bear pattern here, which is now being confirmed, in addition to the lower highs, this is setting ourselves up to pretty much open that door for us to have some lower levels. Now, technically speaking, chart wise, we're looking at the next level support for Doge is going to be around 6 cents. Now, that's not saying that that's the only place that it can consolidate. Again, buying pressure, whether or not it's viewed as oversold, plays a big part in this. This determines pretty much like the percentages that I gave at the end of last year, saying that, okay, well, 12 cents was a point of resistance, not because it indicated down the chart, but just historically, that 80, 90% is viewed as extreme. That 80% range, or as you get closer to that 80% range, is viewed as extreme. And typically you'll see buying pressure usually kick up around that point. So this is saying that we can have the brakes pumped on this anywhere between where we are right now and 6 cents, just depending on obviously on demand. But this is just the range that you have. Chart wise, yes, the next level support is going to be 6 cents, but this can have the brakes pumped on that anywhere in that range. Now we can take a look at the heavy hitter in the market and see also something very similar. So we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, and we will see pretty much what Doge started forming in December. We see something here as well, and we're going to have to keep an eye on it to see if we're going to get confirmation, but this is looking like a double top here. And I just want to highlight the area that I'm speaking of, and we're going to see. Now, what we're looking for is a point of resistance and a moderate decline on the second test. So here we can say, let's call this, 46,774. And on the next one, we're going to be looking at 45,319. So maybe $1,400, $1,500 decline, moderate decline compared to the price of Bitcoin. And then what we're going to be looking for here is a break below the bottom here of the peak of these two. So we're looking anywhere between 37 and 36.5, and that would be pretty much like a confirmation that this is indeed going to go into like a bearish trend. Now we do have a rejection here, like literally off of the 72-day moving average. So and we're roughly at around like 38,929. So we're going to have to see how this plays out over the course of the week. Now this could not be respected because again, Bitcoin's the market leader, and any type of bullish or news and stuff like that typically can be used to pump Bitcoin, which is why you see like these wild swings, and it's a little bit harder to chart than others. But charts can be manipulated in the short term, but ultimately long term, they're going to do what they do. So this can simply just be procrastinated, but overall, everything is in motion for this to have further consolidation. That's why I titled this video, The Best Entries Are Coming, because I still believe that. And remember, if we're looking at the macro thing, we do need two issues resolved before we can resume or even just get back to some, at least a point of stability in the market. We're going to need the Russia-Ukraine situation or a solution for that. And we're also going to have to see some concrete evidence that inflation is under control. Markets don't like uncertainty. There are no bull runs. There's no to the moon and stuff like that. When there's mass uncertainty in the market, people are typically hedging and go into protection mode when there's mass uncertainty. So if you're on the side of like energy or commodities and stuff like that, yeah, you can certainly make money and hedge there. But typically when it comes down to speculation or growth, those typically, I won't necessarily say suffer, but they'll usually either maintain or you'll get that break to the downside until the markets typically turn around. We're going to have to keep an eye on this over the course of the next week to see if this pattern is going to play out and to see if it's going to be respected. But as of right now, these two coins are shaping up to have bearish patterns. So for me, that means pretty much I'm going to do what I've been doing, which is when I'm looking as far as for quality and I'm long in a coin, technically speaking, you invest, a little continuously. That's what I've been doing. And then I'm ultimately waiting on that breakdown. I want Bitcoin anywhere. As far as I want Bitcoin really anywhere like in the 20s, pretty much like the low 30s, high 20s, anywhere in there, I'll start to get really aggressive. But ultimately, we're going to have to wait to see how some of these macro events play out, because it looks like the Feds, especially if they go through with their 0.25% on the 16th, this is going to, a lot of the uncertainty and stuff like that is going to roll over into Q2. So we're really going to have to pretty much stick to the strategies and see how this plays out going forward, because this is not the aggressiveness that the Fed should be taking with our record inflation that we haven't seen in pretty much half a century. But, what do I know? So we'll see as far as we're going forward. So to give a concrete answer as far as for this video, have we bottomed? Well, the charts are hinting at no, we have not, as in fact, and the macros are looking to align with that as well. We're really just going to have to keep our ear to the ground this week to make sure that these patterns are going to play out, or if we do get some reversals in place. So hope you found value in this video. For more TA market analysis, pretty much tracking the state of the market, stuff like that, you are more than welcome to subscribe to the channel to hear more from me. Like the video, share it with a friend. Check out BlockFi as well. I have some links in the description. You get some free stocks. You get crypto up to $250 when you open an account with BlockFi. I have all of those links listed below. With that being said, I appreciate you. Thank you. And until next time.